Welcome to Keepin' It Real, your go-to radio show for fresh insights and vibrant introductions. Get ready to dive into a world where we offer you the latest in real estate wisdom and the juiciest community tidbits. From expert advice courtesy of top realtors to opportunities to give back through local charities, we've got you covered. Plus, we'll shine a spotlight on the young athletes driving our local sports scene and uncover the buzzworthy happenings both in town and beyond. Stay tuned for a jam-packed hour of enlightenment and entertainment right here on Keepin' It Real.
Hey, good morning, good Saturday morning to you. I'm Dion Ethell, and I am the host of Keepin' It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. We're right here off of Friday Boulevard, and we are ready to go. We're just getting our guests settled into the studio. But while we wait, I just want to give you a couple of shout-outs. One, we got a great show today. It's going to be fantastic, whether they're a business or an event or maybe some kind of a charity. We love talking about the community that we live in and the people behind it and their stories. And today we got a story for you for sure. It's a great story of resilience, and we've got a young guy here who's doing a lot to give back to our community, but a lot of the things that led to this journey came from something pretty terrible, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. It's going to get a little deep, but then we're going to talk about the story of resilience and what it's done and how it's now helping the community. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be John Bateman and Lisa Gustafson in the studio with us today. Today, I want to talk about just a couple of quick events. I want to give some shout outs for some things going on in town while we're waiting. So one is Love Unleashed. It's a bark bash at the park today from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Tompkins Park. So it's going on for several hours. It's at 2060 South 7th Street. That's right off of Buffalo Soldier. Those two dog park areas, one's for large dogs, one's for small. They're going to shut those down. Sierra Vista Police Department from the Nancy J. Brewer Animal Care Center will be out there. The animal control officers, as well as our supervisor, Arlene Garcia, will be there from SVPD, and they're going to be walking you through demonstrations from Dogs Playing for Life group. They are the ones who actually help get those dogs ready for adoption and help with their confidence and their maturity and playing with other dogs. And so they're really special people doing special things. And of course, they're going to have some adoptable dogs out there showing their personalities out in real time. You'll see some splash pools for the dogs because some of them love to swim. And there's going to be some discounted adoptions for the attendees. So lots of photo op opportunity, learn about dog behavior, adoptions, and fostering. Going to be fun. And again, it's today, 8 to 11 a.m., Tompkins Park, 2060 South 7th Street, 7th and Buffalo Soldier. So come out and see that. Also coming up here, not too far away, September 27th at the Forever Ranch, that's 714 North Madison Avenue in Benson. They are having their Beer Brats Bands Festival. This is a big thing. I know they're super excited about it, and it is free entry from 4 to 10 p.m. on the 27th, $5 parking, beer tasting, $40 will get you 2-day dry camping, just all kinds of things. Live music, local brews, vendors, food, all kinds of other things. And it's all benefiting Smiles LLC, the nonprofit up there. So, and lastly, coming up a little bit later, Friday, October 10th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Put that on your calendar. This is at Lori's Place, which is 214 East Tacoma Street, right there in Sierra Vista. It's wonderful. It's going to be open to the public. Free food, guest speakers, and tours of Lori's Place. They're going to be celebrating the Domestic Violence Awareness Month, bringing together Lori's Place law enforcement and faith leaders to bridge those gaps between the public and build a better community. So, it takes a village to keep us safe, and we're all in this together. All right, quick shout out to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
In a town with heart and history, the Sherry Ethell Team is the key. Serving Sierra Vista, we agree. For military law and retirees, stress-free process you will see. Personal care is our guarantee. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team, we never halt. Real experts here to guide your way, making dreams come true every single day. Trust a team that knows just what to do. The Sherry Ethell Team, working for you. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team is your one and only call.
All right, good morning, everybody. This is Keepin' It Real. The Keepin' It Real radio show is brought to you by Sherry Ethell Team, Long Realty Studios. We're right here behind Denny's on Friday Boulevard, here for all your real estate needs. Today, I have got a special guest here in the studio. Well, actually, I've got two special guests because I've got Lisa Gustafson again with me here. And I'm hoping I can talk her into being kind of a staple with us sometimes because she's here in the studio. And if you don't know Lisa, she belongs with King Country and Cool FM. She's the account manager, right?
I am, and I like hanging out here with you. I think I'm going to come back.
I love it.
A lot.
I love it. She's great on the radio. She sounds great and great to work with. And then, of course, I've got John Bateman here, and John has got a special story for us. You know, we always do these stories about people here in our local community. That's what our show is all about, is community. And we talk to business owners, we talk to charity members, we talk to people who are organizing these fabulous events, even some of our government officials and everything. But every once in a while you run into just that unique individual that has a great story, that has been through something, does something, has overcome something. And it's just great to hear from people you might not meet without the show.
Yeah, and I think he covers every
almost all of them.
He checks all the boxes.
Right. All right, John. So welcome to the show, John Bateman, and we're grateful to have you this morning.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
So let's kind of dive into your background a little bit. You're prior military, right?
Yes, I am.
Prior Army. Tell me a little bit about yourself. You know, not looking for the whole resume, but give me a little bit of the background.
We don't want to go back to 1992.
But we might come back and dig into it a little bit as we go. But give us kind of a brief synopsis. Walk us through that. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I was born on a breezy autumn day.
Right.
I joined the Army in 2006. I had joined up as 89 Delta, which is Explosive Ordnance Disposal. Did that for several years and then converted over to intelligence, specifically that of geospatial intelligence in 2010, 2011 timeframe. The EOD thing was really fun. I missed that. But you have a 0% life expectancy. Zero.
Is that right?
As bomb squad for the Army, your chance of making that an actual career is 0. You usually just poof and join the Pink Mist Club.
Everybody does that?
Everyone
I mean, that's the average.
That's what EOD stands for. Everyone dies.
Oh, my gosh.
And everyone
No
drinks,
way.
and everyone's divorced.
Sounds about right.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I started having kids, and then with that comes a little bit of hey, risk management.
Need to do a little career change.
Needs to come into play there.
Okay.
So I made the switch over to Intel, geospatial intelligence specifically.
Okay.
Then, yeah, that put me here. I did that for, 4th Striker Brigade Combat Team and 1st Corps for 3 years. And then I got a letter in the mail from the National Geospatial Agency. It was right around the time that I had to decide whether or not even to stay in or get out. And at that time, it was kind of a difficult year. That year, I got full custody of all my children. I have 3 children, so at that time...
How old were they?
They were 1, 1, and 2.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
That year, as a single
handle.
father, I went through 6 babysitters. Because, well, the Army doesn't care about what your family life is like.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we need you to stay overnight so you can do this. And that happened 6 times that year. And every single time, the babysitter who was watching my kids was like,
See ya.
I'm not going to stick around for this. I'm like, well, I can't come home.
Yeah.
And you
so-
caught that, right, Dion? 1, 1, and 2. So
Yep.
twin boys
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
and a girl.
That's a lot. I can relate, though. I'll tell you a story about that later, but yeah, I can relate.
And so, that year being as rough as it was, and, the debate of whether to stay in or get out, I loved being in. I miss being in. But you got to make the better choices for your family.
Absolutely.
And
Family
you
first
know,
sometimes, right?
didn't really hardly get to see my kids while I was in the Army.
Yeah.
I was always gone there. I'd come home and just crash out, nap for a little bit, wake up with a bunch of kids jumping on me.
Yeah.
And then get up and go do it again. And so, yeah, NGA had reached out and I was like,
So you
what?
took that job?
Yeah.
And where'd that take you?
That took me out to Springfield, D.C.
Okay.
Springfield,
so DC,
Virginia.
almost like a different world out there, right?
Most definitely.
We were
is.
talking a little bit before the show, and yeah, it's. I was stationed out there in Virginia as well, not too far from where you were, and it's definitely, we called it the Puzzle Palace, so for a reason.
Yeah, no, that's very applicable. DC does have all 4 seasons though. It was
it
really
does.
pretty. All 4 intense seasons. The summer's going to be crazy humid and hot, but when it gets springtime, everything grows so much. I had like 10-foot tomato plants and stuff.
Oh, I know.
Like,
We had a great garden. We had a lot of snow too.
Arizona native. We don't talk about that
gosh.
stuff.
Oh, it heats stuff up and moves it out,
No,
man.
thank you.
Like
I
so
remember-
much better than shoveling.
I remember coming out here one time for, I want to say it was like around Thanksgiving, or maybe it was right before Christmas, but the holiday season. And obviously you're not playing with snowballs out here.
Right.
So they were doing with like crazy string or whatever. And I was like, where am I? You know, that was like my
What's
first
going on
exposure
here?
to
What's
Arizona.
happening?
I'm like, it's November and it's like t-shirt weather. So it was totally different, used to the snow.
Yeah, I haven't had to shovel any snow out of my driveway to get out here. But it does drop.
It
but
does,
out here, we
occasionally.
have such a beautiful place out here. The snow usually stays on the mountains where it belongs, not on me.
Right.
And I appreciate
You
that.
get to view it from a distance, and if you want to go up there, you can.
You can drive up Car Canyon, do some
Exactly.
sledding. We've done that with the kids and
we
stuff.
have done that. The kids have had a fabulous
They
time.
survived and didn't
Yeah.
cliff
Some
it.
of the best days, absolutely.
And how long were you in D.C.?
I was in there for 5 years.
5 years, okay.
Yeah.
And did that take you some other places too, this work for
Oh,
them?
yeah. About 2 weeks out of every 2 months, I was traveling somewhere.
Here in
So-
the States or abroad?
And what is
both.
this, like highly confidential stuff? What do we, I don't know.
Not quite. I
we
mean,
won't give away any secrets.
I know, right?
National Geospatial Agency is one of the big five within the intelligence community. So you got NGA, CIA, DIA, NRO, and NSA.
NSA, yep.
There's your big five.
Yep.
I was teaching a course, so I was part of the National Geospatial College as well as a senior source advisor for collection management. So
Okay.
you need to answer about a person, place, or thing, or what's going on. Like,
Yep.
yeah, I got you.
Cool. And so you did all that and took you abroad. What kind of what places did you go to? Like, what were some of the kinds? Were they the karate parts of the world, or were they pretty nice stuff?
So you way better
Or both.
than the Army sent me. That's for sure.
No doubt.
Everyone brings you to like Polk and Irwin.
Yeah, lots of places that end in Stan.
That took me to Germany, Korea, Italy.
Oh wow, so nice places, really.
Did a little hopper to Ireland.
Oh wow.
Short stint in Japan,
Okay.
and then so many places here in the United States.
So what brought you back from there?
I told you.
Really?
I
Look
thought
at
I
this.
thought I left my door unlocked. And
left your door
I thought,
unlocked, yeah.
I didn't want anyone taking over. I heard about the squatter law,
Right,
and
so-
I've been gone for a while. So I
came back
gotta
out.
get. No, I wanted to get out of that many people.
Yeah.
There's so many people, and I was
It
still
is.
driving a truck in DC. You're just like the most redneck thing they've ever seen.
I
And you got
know.
to swerve the flocks of Prius.
That's funny that you and I have a couple things in common. I had a great big lifted Dodge when I was in DC, and
That was
everybody
a
looked
Dodge.
at us like we were like from another planet.
Listen, everybody
Like,
comes
what?
back here too. I mean, let's face it, we have an amazing community. So
know.
all these places he's been, all this opportunity,
Yeah,
I'm coming back to Sierra Vista.
absolutely.
Hands
Yeah,
down of all the places I've lived, and I've lived in 31 states. I like this one the best.
31. You're not even that old.
I know it's a problem.
Oh my gosh, you moved around a lot.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hold that thought. We're going to come back to John and hear a little more about some of his story in a few minutes after we hear from our sponsor. We'll be right back. Welcome to an exciting new chapter in real estate marketing with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. We're thrilled to introduce our groundbreaking radio campaign that's set to virtually transform how homes are sold in our community.
Are you looking to sell your home? Imagine your listing highlighted as not just a home of the week, but receiving continuous, exclusive attention on the airwaves until it sells. That's right. Every single Sherry Ethell Team Long Realty listing will now be featured regularly, ensuring maximum exposure to maximize your speed of sale.
Here's how it works. Each week, we'll spotlight all of our current listings in individual, engaging, and detailed 30-second radio ads. Whether you're selling a cozy starter home, a luxurious estate, or anything in between, your property will be heard by thousands of potential buyers in our local area. This innovative approach guarantees that your home remains top of mind for listeners until the perfect buyer comes along.
Why choose the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty? Because we're committed to delivering unparalleled service with a personal touch. Our new radio campaign will be just one more way we help reduce the stress of selling your home by giving it the visibility it deserves. We understand that selling a home can be a daunting process, But with your tailored marketing campaign and this kind of presence, it'll be easier and more efficient than ever.
Tune in to Cool 104.1 to hear about the latest listings on our new program we're calling our Home Spotlight Series. Or catch the Keepin' It Real radio show every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. for the latest real estate tips from the experts. Weekend open houses, awesome charity opportunities, great happenings in our community, and wonderful interviews with youth sports coaches and athletes.
So don't miss out on this unique opportunity to have your home featured in our exclusive radio campaign. List with Sherry Ethell Team Long Realty today and experience the magic of real estate marketing like never before.
For more information, give us a call at 717-599-2439. Sherry Ethell Team Long Realty, behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard right here in Sierra Vista, where your home story is told until it's sold. Remember, with us, it's not just about selling houses. We make success stories for a living. Stay tuned, stay informed, and let's help you find your perfect home. All right, welcome back to the Keepin' It Real radio show. I'm Dion Ethell. I'm your host, and this is the Sherry Ethell Team Long Realty Studios. I've got wonderful guests in here. I've got John Bateman, who is our guest, superstar here. We're learning all about him and his background, talking about his exposure to the Army and a lot of different areas. Also, I'm joined here by Lisa Gustafson from Cool FM and Canyon Country. So thank you for being here, too.
Oh, excited to be here.
So kind of going back, so we talked about, your Army experience and, how you had gone from the bomb disposal going into geospatial intelligence and things and getting into that world. Did you miss the bomb disposal world a little bit?
I miss that every day. I really do.
Did you choose that?
Yeah,
MOS?
absolutely.
You did.
Well, if you met 18-year-old John Bateman and walked up and said, "Hey, you want to go blow stuff up for a living?"
Right.
Like, come
Yes,
on,
please.
It's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Wait, I can do that?
That's
I
crazy.
didn't even know there were signing bonuses, and all my colleagues had $100,000 signing bonuses. I was just
You just
excited to go
volunteered.
do it.
Right.
Yeah. No, I got duped on that one, but
So after your exposure to that, you came back to Sierra Vista here, and now you're back. What's next? What happened in your life?
I got picked up by Tradeout Capability Management to do a geospatial intelligence subject matter expert here, contracting.
Yeah.
In which case I got to write all the requirements for what the Army was going to need for future operations for geospatial intelligence.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Really fun, and I got to do some really cool stuff in that, some of which hasn't come to fruition yet, and I'm upset, but that's okay.
None of that sounds fun to me, just for the record. I don't know.
It's spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets.
Yeah.
If you know John Bateman, you know his number. Two things that make him happy.
Yeah.
Ready? Whiteboards and spreadsheets.
All day.
All day long.
Love it, huh?
Gentlemen in the streets, freaking spreadsheets.
Wow. Wow.
I can say that.
Right. You can say that, even on the radio.
All about the spreadsheets. So
Okay.
he was happy.
So you're happy with that and everything.
Yeah.
And then what happens in your life?
And then I open up Charlie Company Entertainment.
Okay. What was that?
That is a party equipment rental company.
Bounce house.
What had
Bounce
happened
houses.
was I'd gone to a local company, and it was my boy's birthday. And I'd rented a bounce house that they showed up 3 hours late for and wasn't offering a refund. And the birthday was already over. And I got pissed, dropped 30 grand, and bought a bunch of equipment and said, screw it, I'm taking you down. I'm going to open up competition. And so,
so that's what you did.
for the next 3 years, that was my weekends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then, so you started doing that, and then what?
After that, I opened up West End Pawn and Gun.
West End Pawn and Gun. Okay, so you opened that up, and
To go with the bounce
I think
houses.
everybody knows about which is
that makes
kind of
sense,
like
right?
polar opposites. Yeah.
Going from bomb squad to intel to
Yeah, you bounced around a little
I
bit.
bounce.
Bounce it. Get
Yeah,
it. Bounce
get
house.
it, bounce
Got that.
houses. Yeah, perfect for you.
Well, I like
Oh,
that.
thank you.
So you opened up this pawn shop, and so what was that like? What brought you to that? Why open that business?
So I knew a couple folks who were working at a local other pawn shop. We're always complaining about how they couldn't work with the clients because there was corporate structured requirements for how much you need to give, and even if the client was going to be able to come back, you couldn't make it anything personal. And they wanted to open up their own store, and so I asked them, I was like, hey, give me 6 months of all the data that you have done at your store there, and we'll see about it. And it came back, I'm like, the numbers do kind of meet up, and within 60 days I was open.
Wow. You just made the decision and just Full feet in, and you said, I'm going to do it.
It's always a send it moment.
Yeah.
When he says he's going to do something, I just wait because I know it's coming. May take 2 months, may take 6 months, may take a year. It's going to happen.
And what made you leave that behind?
The accident.
So there was an accident. Describe what transpired there. I mean, where were you and what happened?
So I went up to Northern California. I'm the godfather to my niece.
Okay.
And she was having a baptism.
Okay.
So drove up there, went to the baptism. I grabbed another niece and I was dropping her off, blew a flat in my Tahoe on a highway in Northern California. And I really don't even remember the drive to California.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens when you have a TBI and you get hit by 2 vehicles on a highway. But I blew a flat in my Tahoe and got mowed over by 2 cars on a highway.
2 cars.
Yeah, first one was a white truck per reports.
Yeah.
That truck didn't stop.
And so he hit your vehicle or just you?
Me.
Just you?
Yeah.
So he hit you, and then another vehicle struck you as well.
Yeah, that one put me in the road, and then the second one, yeah. I did get to total a Toyota RAV4 with my body.
With your body?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing to be super excited about.
I think I almost got totaled too, so there's...
Right, yeah. So what were the injuries? What kinds of injuries did you sustain at the time?
Let's go top to bottom then. Let's see... My C5, 6, 7 got fused. My neck is all fused together. Brachial plexus injury caused me not capable of talking to my bicep and deltoid on my left arm. Now, they were able to do a surgery where they took a nerve out of my pec and out of my lat to put it into those. So I have one nerve transmitting information, and I can turn my hand over after that surgery. So I was really happy about that, and I can curl like a cup of coffee. It's something. I'm happy with it.
Right.
Working your way down. This one's a little grotesque. Are we good with going grotesque?
How grotesque are we going?
We'll figure it out. Let's see.
Well, when I got hit, one leg went one way, one leg went the other way, and I split literally in half down the middle.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
The irony of all this, the first person on scene was my brother-in-law.
Oh, gosh. That must have been...
He didn't know it was me till the
Crazy.
next day.
Oh, my gosh. No kidding.
No kidding. Yeah. So he put things back in, and he came to scrape the body, and he was like, holy bleep, this thing has a pulse. Just started going to work, and then... Yeah, I went to one hospital, and then I got flown
What was he doing there? Was he just driving by, or was he an EMT?
He's an EMT.
So he's an EMT. So he was
There were quite
medically
a few.
involved there. And so there were a lot of people involved, and he was one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of medical people involved.
Yeah, I
I
bet.
They flew me to UC Davis, where I went through another 32 surgeries.
32.
32 over
the course of how long?
Total including rehab was 7 months, but I was in UC Davis, the ICU specifically, for 4 months.
4 months in the ICU.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time.
It was surgery every 2 or 3 days.
And obviously, something happened to your legs as well.
Yeah, I got some upgrades here. One leg went one way, one leg went the other way, so they amputated my right leg above the knee and left leg below. Now, they did keep trying to take that knee from me. And I was like, no, this is my favorite knee. Look, it works.
Right.
I'll wiggle it.
He's got a great attitude for having been through
it. It is my favorite knee. And of all the knees that disappeared, I'm glad it was that one. That one, I cracked my kneecap trying to jump over a T-wall to avoid getting blown up in Iraq.
And so now you don't have that, so that's gone.
Of all the ones I could have gone, I'm glad it was that one.
So you've got 2 prosthetics now, and first of all, let's kind of go back a little bit. So 7 months, 4 months in the ICU, and then 7 months recovery time. And the way I understand it, you weren't able to have any contact either with your kids or anything else. You were kind of stranded there in California. But it's not your home.
2021 in California due to the COVID constraints.
Yeah, you were stuck.
I wasn't able to see anyone.
So it's just you.
I mean, Zoom is helpful. I'm appreciative for its existence, absolutely. But it's no exchange for being able to hug your own kids.
Yeah. Not the personal contact.
No.
And how old were your kids at that point?
At that point, they were 12, 13.
Okay. So 12 and 13, pretty tough on them too. All of a sudden, you're cut off.
You should bring them in.
Right?
We're talking about
They'll be on another show.
Holy heck.
They really are. I just want to say, I want to jump in if you don't mind. During that whole time, his family from here had flown out to California, and then we have the family in California. The information exchange through everybody, it was so much between everyone, and to get this story, and then you'd hear this story, and we're all trying to put the pieces together.
Wow.
And it was such a time that everybody truly had to rally for the one that's always rallying for us.
Tough on everybody, yeah.
You ever play that game where you come up with a name and you whisper it to someone else and they whisper it? By the time it gets to the end of the classroom, it's a completely different story.
Else.
Perfect.
That's exactly how that
perfect analogy.
100%. Goes from one piece of family to a friend to someone else, and then makes it back to another piece of family, and it's a whole different thing. In which case, like, even sadly, my kids thought I was dead for 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh, 3 weeks before they really knew.
In all reality, there were several times.
Oh, it was not looking good.
Yeah.
That it was not good.
It's a statistical anomaly for my existence right now.
Right.
Absolutely. And it was touch and go. I was in a coma for a hot minute. And
jeez. Well, with that happy thought, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll come back and
think of the need.
We'll hear about
Go to the happy need.
We'll hear about the resilience and the struggle behind coming back. And we'll be right back with John Bateman and Lisa Gustafson. And this is Keepin' It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. We'll be right back.
We're the real wayfinders, the trailblazers, the go-getters. In a town where the desert wakes before dawn, we don't just talk, we make things happen. And when we speak, it's real, it's genuine, and it's worth hearing. Tune in every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on Cool 104.1 FM. Join the Sherry Ethell Team for Keepin' It Real, where top realtors, local heroes, and the heartbeat of our community come together. Raw, authentic conversations, expert market insights, and the best local events you can't afford to miss. Keepin' It Real, celebrating our community. Bold, genuine, one of a kind.
Welcome back to the Sherry Ethell Team Long Realty Studios, Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell. I'm your host. I'm here with Lisa Gustafson. She is the account manager for Canyon Country and Cool FM. And I'm here with John Bateman, and he is really a survivor from a terrible accident. He's a guy just like the rest of us out there, got a great military career, all these things going for him. He started other businesses. We talked about his time in the Army and a couple of different career paths, kind of settling into the geospatial arena, and then kind of going over, starting his own business, had all those
party equipment
rentals, okay. And then West End Pawn. And so you started this pawn shop and ran that. And how many years did you run that?
5.
5 years. And then you go over, you're in California for a baptism, is that right?
Correct.
And then you had a flat tire, and if you didn't catch this before the break, he was struck by a car and a truck, and then struck by another car, and some horrific injuries, pretty touch and go, I'm sure, for a while. He spent 4 months, right, in the ICU.
In the ICU, yeah.
Yeah, 7 months kind of in that recovery process. And the worst part about it, it's COVID, and you're in California. It's very restrictive, and you can't see anybody. Most people don't probably even know what happened to you. And like you guys were sharing, it was kind of the telephone game. Everybody's trying to learn more pieces, and you're piecing all this stuff together, and one person's telling another person who's telling another person, and by the time it gets around, maybe it isn't quite right. That alone must have been super nerve-wracking. What was going through, I guess, I know you said you were in coma for a portion of that time too, and you're still recovering. When you kind of came out into the realization that your legs are gone, you've got these pretty terrible injuries, and there's no way for you to communicate with your family. Eventually you get some, it sounded like you had some, at least some digital contact, where you were able to use Zoom. How long before you got to Zoom your family?
I remember Zooming them over Christmas.
I was going to say, I think the time at your house, we all got together, and that was the very first time
and
that
how
we
long
had all
after the
Zoomed.
accident?
About 6 weeks.
6 weeks,
yeah.
okay.
6 weeks in.
So for the first 6 weeks, you're all alone, you're just you. And what's going through your mind back then? It was pretty
We'll
dark.
inject some comedy here. Let's make this. So my first waking moment coming out of the coma, my brother-in-law Kevin was there, and I grabbed him and I asked him, "Do I still have a male reproductive appendage?"
Yeah.
Use that term specifically. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then I passed back out.
And that was it.
Life can move on. We're okay.
The important stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how long before you realized that you didn't have legs, in that process? I mean, and that they had been taken.
It did take a while. The TBI, traumatic brain injury, was pretty heavy. My legs were triangles, and I understand that a shape doesn't really fall suit, but that's about where the TBI was at. I couldn't read the clock in the hospital. I thought there was special hospital time for like 3 months.
Oh, wow.
So things were
So
far.
it was really tough.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's just sitting up in bed reading a book, relaxing.
Right.
He was in this full, what do you call that? The thing around his neck.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the neck thing.
So he can't.
Well, my neck was broke.
He couldn't move.
Yeah, your neck's broke,
He can't
so
do
it's
anything.
healing.
I mean, this is him for 4 months.
For 4 months, you're just stationary, kind of looking at the ceiling a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yikes. So fast forward now, you come out of that, right? You get to this point where you're being released from the hospital. I'm sure you're glad to get out of there.
No, I tried escaping a bunch.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you really? Yeah.
I dipped out a couple times. They gave me an electric wheelchair finally.
Yeah.
And snuck out the back, and I found this little park that had some donkeys. And I'd just go sit there and stare at the donkeys.
Really?
I just got to be out of the room, out of the hospital, just enjoying being outside.
Yeah.
Which wasn't legal for me to do because it was like 2 miles away. But fortunately, those electric wheelchairs, they go a long ways, man.
Wow. Holy cow. The
a lot of
hospital
trouble
staff
there.
must
Yeah.
have not liked you very well.
Him.
Yeah.
No, and even trying to... I wanted to get out of there way faster than they were going to permit me to get out of there. And I was still able to get out without having 2 prosthetic legs.
Yeah.
They had only given me a left one, and it still took the VA another 14 months to give me a right leg.
Wow. 14 months before you got another leg. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a very slow
how
process.
is it they get you one and not the other? Is it,
Great question.
Well, is that because this one looks like a little more complex?
I mean, this
feature?
one has a mechanical knee and everything associated with that, but that really didn't have anything to do with the delay.
Didn't have anything to do with it.
The delay was that the VA wanted to do one at a time and wait till it got to the level of permanence, which is where you get the carbon fiber wrap on the outside.
Okay.
Any of the clear ones are more just like the temporary ones.
I did not know that.
They wanted to wait until one was complete before going to the next one.
Gosh, that's kind of
Which is a little
hard
annoying
on the
because
person.
I wanted to walk.
Right. He also, but I mean, to be fair, he just wanted to get home and see his children.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
at that point, after 7 months,
You're ready to go.
However you could get me home.
Yeah. So you get home, and are you wheelchair bound then?
Yeah. Big thanks to Lisa and Home Depot. They were able to pull together and put ramps in my house before I got home and get everything situated so that I could actually migrate in. It took a team of people to get me in and out of a car.
Wow.
I mean, it took 4 months, 5 months before I could even roll on my side.
I was going to ask you, so because of the traumatic injuries to the rest of you, I'm sure that stuff heals up, but 7 months later, that's still pretty fresh, I mean, to some degree, right? That's got to be tough to, I mean, could you even move around much? I mean, your body was probably still trying to
When I got
heal.
out of the hospital, and
you have
actually I
braces or
want to give
anything?
some props to Jackie for my sister Jackie. She sold her house in California and moved out here to help me.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
moved her whole
Just like
family
that.
out
Yeah.
here. Absolutely.
Uprooted
Wow.
and hey, we're gonna help. I couldn't put toothpaste on my toothbrush. It took a team of people to get me in and out of a car. It was rough there for a good while.
Yeah, then we had talked about that earlier. When you leave and go on vacation or you go somewhere, right?
Right.
You walk out your house, you're expecting to walk back in.
Yeah.
And here he comes 7 months later. How are we even going to get him in his front door? So it definitely took a team. His family was amazing. He has some great friends that stood by, but you don't think of those simple things that we every single day take for granted.
Yeah, you always expect, like you said, to come back and after a vacation or after a trip or something like that, and then these tragedies happen, and man, you're facing all these things, and your family's facing all these things too. They've got to, your kids probably
For
had to
certain.
kind of, their world changed a little bit because of what happened with you.
No, it most definitely did. I was very physically fit before, and that's one of the things I miss most was I could play tag with any number of kids on a playground, and not one of them was ever going to catch me.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah.
And now it's like, There's a curb. How do I get over that?
Yeah, totally different. Now, okay, so fast forward a little bit further, and then we'll take a quick little break. But so now you've got your prosthetic other leg, and I'm assuming you had a lot of rehab, a lot of physical therapy. You had to learn how to walk again on those things.
The walking aspect. So there's some comical gems in there. The VA finally gave me a right leg, but they didn't have a shorter pylon. So my first steps, I was 6'4".
Oh, wow.
Which is a lot farther to fall. And people keep asking, like, oh, hey, you can be as tall as you want. Like, that is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
It's just farther to go down. Like, no, why would I do that? Plus, I'm not fooling anyone. I got the same size torso. I'll just look like Jack the Pumpkin King walking around with long legs. Like, come on, no one's believing it.
You had to learn how to walk on these things. How long did that take you?
It was not long, because I will tell you, he wanted out of that wheelchair. Okay, once he got
business,
home,
I imagine, right?
he was like, forget this wheelchair. I'm done. I don't care what it takes. Get me any kind of leg. And there was times when you were in a lot of pain because they weren't fit right, and there's a lot of adjustments and things that need to happen. He didn't care.
It's quite an adjustment to just lose one leg, but then lose two. And then on top of that, you had all these other internal injuries, brain injury, all these things going on, and you had to fight through that too at the same time.
No, I think that's really why the falls were so worrisome.
Yeah.
Well, I did a front flip in a wheelchair before I got the legs. That was a fun one. It was actually at Lehman Academy.
Oh, yeah.
There's this downhill, and I was like, oh, after the downhill, there's an uphill. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go as fast as I can so I don't got to push so hard going up. Turns out wheelchairs get speed wobbles at about 15, and you just case it.
Right?
No.
I appreciate the comedy that he brings to this, because that
he's got a
helps
good
him.
spirit to it,
You know
right?
what I mean?
But that wheelchair had to go. You were absolutely right.
It had to
Mainly
go.
fueling up the car.
Yeah.
That was my biggest angst.
Right. Perfect example. Think about it.
I have one functioning arm. I have a wheelchair in pieces in the passenger seat. I have to put it together on the other side once I open the door just to move 4 feet to pump the gas. Like,
Oh, wow. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Right?
Just to pump gas.
I
Just
get
to pump
so
gas.
angry at gas stations.
Wow.
This is what I mean, right? The things
Yeah.
we take for granted. So the wheelchair had to go. Guess what? Not all wheelchairs fit through all doors.
Oh, yeah, that's another one. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I
but
peed outside for 2 years.
What?
None of my wheelchairs could make it into my bathroom, so every time I had to go, I just go out with the dogs.
You see, it's just insanity to me.
Yeah.
The wheelchair had to go. He was done with the wheelchair. He gets the legs, and every step of the way, it's just another learning curve. But I think for me, watching my friend, every step that he got closer to a little bit of freedom and independence, it brought him back.
All right, John, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, let's talk about what you did with that resilience, overcoming this disaster and everything to yourself, and how you're now helping other people.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back.
Discover excellence in real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, your premier choice in Cochise County. Sherry's amazing team brings honesty, expertise, and a deep understanding of the local market. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned homeowner, they're committed to your peace of mind and handle every detail for you.
Their approach? Personalized service, above and beyond transactional real estate, building lifelong relationships, nationwide connections, local expertise. There's a reason this team is amongst the top realtors in Arizona and across the nation.
You owe it to yourself to call or visit the Sherry Ethell Team, the top team at Long Realty, behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more info. Real integrity, real results.
All right, welcome back to the Sherry Ethell Team, Long Realty Studios. As Dion Ethell, I'm your host, and I've got Lisa Gustafson. She's kind of co-hosting today, and she's brought a friend of hers in, John Bateman, long military career. If you're just tuning in, he had a great career in the military. He's done some stuff with bomb disposal, of all things. It's kind of weird because most people would think, oh, well, makes sense. You know, he's walking around on 2 prosthetic legs. That was from the bomb disposal. It was actually from an accident.
There's actually a funny story about it. One of my EOD friends had called me while I was in the hospital. He's like, "We got you anyhow." I'm like, dang it. Oh.
But he actually has started up a couple of businesses. He's run businesses here in this community, worked in this community with the military, and now that he's had this accident, he's overcome it. And what are you doing with your time now?
Well, let me pull that one back a little bit.
Okay.
To really gauge what I'm doing with it now, I got to step back. So being in the wheelchair for 14 months while waiting for a
crazy.
darn leg to come, that does a lot of impact on your psyche, and put me into a pretty deep downward spiral. I was having a lot of emotional breakdowns. I would get met with anything that was higher in opposition than what would be normal, and I would just flood, just start crying, like, what is going on? And it was becoming a little more recurrent to where I was getting concerned for where that was going to lead. So I garnished up the courage to actually call the Veterans Crisis Line. And I was like, hey, I'm not having like suicidal ideations, but these breakdowns are becoming more and more recurrent, and I can kind of see where the writing on the wall is leading, and I don't want it to get there, so I'm trying to reach out to get some help. And they're like, well, we're a little bit behind on psychologists right now, so we can get you in for a phone call with one in 8 months.
8 months.
Wow.
And that is calling the crisis line.
Wow.
It's like,
that's terrible.
and that made me sit there thinking, all right, well, this ain't going to help me none. I don't know what 8 months from now looks like, but it doesn't look very good. It also made me realize, like, anger is a really good tool. And I was sitting there thinking, all right, how many of my comrades have fallen to not being able to reach out, or had reached out and got told to hold off 8 months, and then made a permanent end to a temporary problem type thing. And I've lost a lot of good friends. And I was like, oh, well, if it's 8 months, well, I have a master's right now. Maybe I should try to do something to be part of a solution. At least I can find some purpose in this suffering. And so I'd applied to 13 different colleges, got shot down by 12 of them. One of them let me have a conversation with them. My master's is in emergency and disaster management. It has nothing to do with psychology whatsoever.
Okay.
And I was applying for a psychology doctorate, having not taken a psych class. So naturally, 12 of them shot me down. One of them let me have a convo. I wrote an essay explaining exactly why I want to be part of this and what my vision is for moving forward.
Okay.
And the Regent University accepted me. I have 2 more semesters till the doctorate is complete.
That's awesome.
But to kind of tell you where I'm at, that also brought me into working with the Warrior Healing Center. I'm a psychological practitioner for them, specific for trauma and crisis, PTSD, and suicidal ideation.
Wow.
So take that 8 months.
Right. So now you've come full circle, and now you're giving back to others. And have you had a chance to work with a few people then? How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that for about a year now.
So a year. That's a good piece.
I've worked with about 100 people now.
100 people in a year. No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. That just shows you how much we need those services.
And I never really anticipated it aligning so well. But if you're going through like a hard time and you reach out to the Warrior Healing Center and they send me out, like,
oh, they're amazing.
If you're sitting there and you're debating doing something that you shouldn't be doing, and a legless guy walks in, it is so disarming.
What are you gonna say?
I'm going to say it's dislegging.
What are you going to say? What do you got?
It's kind of hard when my life is.
Tell me what your problem is.
It seems to resonate really well. All my clients are really making great strides at becoming successful people and getting through the traumas and crisis that put them in that position.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Yeah, we've had Tim and Kathy on the show before, and they're wonderful people. We had a number of others, and it's such a worthy cause over there. And we try to support that and sponsor that as their events and whatnot too. Such a great thing. I'm so glad that you're involved with it. You've turned this personal trauma and turned it around into a case of resiliency. I mean, just meeting you, obviously. I mean, you might have a darker side somewhere there, but you don't show it.
Oh yeah.
You definitely keep a pretty positive attitude, and you make light of the things. Even when you came into the studio, I'm like, hey, kind of dancing around the subject a little bit. Whatever you're comfortable with, and he was basically no boundaries. I've got nothing.
I'm an open book.
That's right. That's the kind of guy he is, and so that's great that you're using that strength and that resiliency. Because we had talked about this, Lisa.
Yeah.
I mean, most people would want to just give up, crawl in a hole, and
I say that all the time. To go through the trauma that he went through, most people, and I remember how many conversations that him and I had. It was always a concern. What do they give you? Pain meds right away. What do most people do?
Yeah,
right?
get hooked on
Let's look at it. It's the most addictive. That was his number one thing. He wanted no part of that.
Yeah.
So I think that helped from the get-go right? I mean, obviously when you're in the coma, that's a different story and
Right, of
all
course.
of that. But
did you
the
actually have
only-
that personal foresight to
Absolutely,
like pull
he did.
yourself away from that?
Actually, while I was still in the hospital, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I was
Wow.
noticing that I was pushing the button even when things went hurt.
The famous button.
I was like, I don't. The mental fog that comes with that. I already had enough physical fog. I didn't need mental
Right.
fog. But I mean, think about what do I got left working? I got one
For sure.
functioning arm.
One
and I mean, this
functioning
one
arm,
was
yeah.
split open, and this is my good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for him to, once he got home to his children, I think that was a game changer, because once he saw them, once he could hug them and see them in person, then he was off, you
That
know?
must have been a huge
I think
moment.
I can explain that one. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why can endure anyhow." Almost anyhow, to be exact on the quote. I have 3 kids who absolutely depend on me to continue surviving. The why is significant. But it does tend to fade when you can't physically be there, see them, hug them, hold them, do things for them. And so that tends to depreciate. So coming back and being able to be there, it reinstituted the why, which I think gave me an absolute drive for getting through the pains, getting through figuring out how to walk again, and figuring out a path that a life could still be worth living. And you're absolutely right. Like, you have 2 choices. I can give into the wheelchair. I don't actually have to work or do anything. I could just give into the wheelchair, sit there, blimp out, and die of a heart attack next year, and embrace that level of suffering. Or I can embrace the suffering that might be able to get me somewhere to be the greatest aspect of positivity I can with what I have left.
Wow.
Right? I would pick up the phone. Hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you? And I would be like, well, I can't say anything negative here.
Right.
How many times was I like, I'm fantastic. Who am I to say, oh, I've had a bad day?
Right? Kind of
Right?
makes
Are
you
you serious?
think about your roughest day, and it's like, oh, well,
No.
it's not really anything, I guess.
Puts it all into perspective.
I
And
could totally see how your clients are kind of
Right?
like looking at you and going, yeah, okay, well, maybe
I could do
don't
this
have as
too,
much
right? That's what they're
complain
saying.
about.
I definitely
can
think
be
my
there.
presence is a call to action. For
That's good.
clients.
That's really, no, and that's great. And that's great that you've decided to put that into some horsepower behind the work that you're doing. So I think that's awesome. I'm still kind of going back to your kind of explanation and picturing what that looks like I've been to a lot of motor vehicle accidents first on scene, and what those things look like, and they're pretty terrible, and thinking that you get struck by a car in another car, and you've got this serious injuries, and then most of us, you get one of those, just a shoulder surgery, a back surgery, and here you
for
had to
sure.
do it all at the same time. At the same time, you're missing your kids, your family's just disconnected from you, and you have your entire support chain is ripped from you, and you from them, really.
Yeah.
You find out, and I think he will agree with this. When you are in that situation, you find out who your true friends are. You find out the people that you really can lean on.
I'm sure you find out what you're made of too. Did you always think of yourself this resilient, or did you think, I don't know if I can get through this. I don't know if I got enough in me here.
I don't think
to
I've ever
pull this
had
off.
it in me for quitting to ever be an option.
That's awesome. Well, you're the right guy to be talking to people then.
There were some times in the hospital, and I've had to say some prayers asking for forgiveness, but at one point the pain was so excruciating, I was praying for death.
And
Gosh.
it's not like the surgeries are over, right? Like
No.
you come out and, okay, 32 surgeries behind me.
Oh, I've still got more to go.
This
Do you?
is this. Oh, for sure. This is a continuing.
Let's take a quick break. Come right back. We'll wrap up the show with just a few more thoughts on just the whole recovery process and words of advice to other people who are coming through some traumatic incidents as well. We'll be right back.
Do uneasy markets have you waiting for the ideal moment to make home ownership a reality? Your answer lies in a conversation with Sherry Ethell and her exceptional team at Long Realty, a name synonymous with trust and reliability in Arizona's real estate landscape.
Hi, I'm Sherry Ethell, Realtor and Team CEO of the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. Your ideal moment has arrived. We tailor our approach to you and your needs and goals. Let us put our extensive network to work for you and take the stress out of the process.
Whether buying or selling, remember the name Sherry Ethell and the Sherry Ethell Team. Visit the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more information. Real integrity, real results.
All right, welcome back to the Keepin' It Real radio show with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. I'm here with John Bateman and Lisa Gustafson from Cool FM and Canyon Country, and we're kind of talking about John and not just his life experiences and everything and the businesses that he's had here in our local community, but as a community member, some of the challenges he's overcome. A horrific accident. We were just talking at the break. And maybe we didn't put it into, we're trying to be nice about it, but like Lisa had said at the break, it wasn't like getting hit on Fry Boulevard by a car. This was 70 miles an hour on a highway, right?
Yeah.
So what highway was this?
It was Highway 101 in Northern California.
Okay, so it was
the one
101.
that comes out of like San Francisco and goes way up north.
Yep. So you got hit and you were struck and thrown multiple lanes over, struck again by another car.
Yeah, this
Pretty
is
terrible accident.
15 miles an hour.
Yeah.
To put it into perspective, to understand, well, how did it get from one end 6 lanes over? They were going pretty fast.
Yeah.
This is a major freeway.
A lot of traffic, a lot of stuff going on. Medical services coming into the accident, and you actually flatlined a couple times.
Yeah, I had flatlined twice, and they were able to bring me back.
And they brought you back. And then you said you had a stroke or something?
I had 3 strokes.
3 strokes. Good grief.
There was a bunch of blood clots and stuff.
And so you overcame that anyway.
Yeah, for real. And we didn't even cover the whole. We skipped over the whole dialysis and the kidneys.
Oh,
and,
dialysis was terrible. It's so cold.
So we gave you the Reader's Digest version.
Yeah, we really have kind of smoothed over the sugar-coated a little bit. So, but suffice to say,
making a difference.
We had a horrific accident that took months and months. You're left with 2 prosthetic legs. You look pretty healthy though. You look pretty fit, so you're doing the right things. Obviously, you're getting back, and now you're giving back. You're working with the Warrior Healing Center and helping others because you had this personal experience. So you wanted to make this better, and you're now a part of this healing process for other people.
Part of the solution.
That's a pretty rewarding experience in itself, too. Does that help you kind of get through? Because you're still kind of going through your process anyway, right?
Oh, I think I'm still recovering.
Yeah. And how long has it been since the accident now?
We're going on 3 years.
3 years?
9 months.
Wow.
November will be 4
years. And you're still, do you have any surgery still that you'll have to do?
I'm on to at least 2 more, maybe 3 if they want to do another nerve
And how many have you
transplant.
done, just for the people who are just tuning in now? How many surgeries have you had up to this point?
There's 32 while I was in there, and then I've done 2 since.
Is it 2 or 3?
Maybe 3.
Okay. Yeah,
you start to lose count.
Another surgery, you should get a set of steak knives or something.
Right. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what number this is.
Yeah.
They should make a surgery punch card,
Right? Get a free Papa Murphy's pizza or something, right?
We need to look into that.
We need to get something going for you. And I just thought of this while we were talking. So you got through this life trauma. You also had a job before then. So what'd you do for money during that time?
Oh, that was actually,
that's got to be pretty tough too, right?
I got to give a big thanks to the entirety of the community. So many people pulled together on a GoFundMe, which was able to save my house, was able to continue things getting paid off. Because I took out a bunch of loans to open up that damn store, and nothing was getting paid while I was gone.
Oh my God!
So everything went into collections, and I was like, oh, I got to get all this squared away.
How do you do that? Yeah.
Without the community's just absolutely astounding support, I wouldn't have a house to come back to. So grateful.
Yes.
So grateful for people being able to rally together and thinking that I was worthy of maintaining things for.
Before we go, there's other people here in our community. You had mentioned you've had probably 100 different people you've helped. And I was kind of like, what? That's a lot of people. Obviously, there's a need for this. Somebody out there right now who's probably going through some kind of a traumatic situation and needs some help. What's your advice to them?
If it's a veteran,
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of the crisis line, obviously. But I do think that if you talk to the crisis line and you're at a higher state of emotional agitation, that they could probably do something a little bit quicker. It's not a non-viable option. However, we do have some local options. Like, call the Warrior Healing Center if you're going through a really rough patch, and I will just show up at your house.
John will show up. Yeah. The 8-month thing, it's mind-blowing to us, especially here in our community. We cater to the military here. When I heard that story of 8 months for him to just talk to someone.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not in person, just a phone call.
Right, just a phone call.
Yeah.
So, right, thank you for being that person that wants to make a difference, because how many of those 100 people that he's talked to do you think he's
they'd have been
helped
the
out?
same spot, right?
I mean, that's kind of the approach I had on that. I came to the determination if I was able to make an impact on one person, it was worth me going this entire endeavor.
Wow. Well, that speaks volumes to who you are and who you've become. And it's awesome that you've turned this into a positive. I don't know how you do it. I could never put myself into your shoes, no matter how many things you go through in life.
They might fit. I'm not sure what size they are, you know?
You always meet somebody who's had it tougher and overcome it. So it gives you hope that you can get through anything. You know, just seeing you makes you feel like I have nothing to complain about.
I want to talk about how long it takes you.
Stuff. I'm not going to be here like give you flag. By all means.
But it does. It puts it into perspective.
Yeah. Come meet you, and I'm thinking, oh, geez.
Right? Bet you're not thinking about that now, for sure. So we're going in through all these things. We talk about all these things, and just being here in this last hour, you have to say, Dion, like we just said, it makes you feel better. Like, who cares about all that other crazy stuff
it does.
that we dwell on day in and day out, right?
Well, I hope listening to John today, for all of you who are listening today and are thinking, okay, my life just got a little easier today. Today's going to be a little more manageable, and I don't have quite the obstacles to overcome that John had. Resilience is powerful. You know, one of the things I learned early on in my law enforcement career, because of different things that I'd been in, man, your body can do anything if you put your mind to it. It's your mind that really has control over that whole thing. And if you can wrap your head around something, man, you can do anything. You can overcome obstacles that you never thought you'd be able to get over.
We're such an adaptive species.
We really are. We really are. And I was so surprised all the things that I could, overcome and get through. And there's challenges, and you never know when the next challenge is, and you really don't know until you're there. And then you don't know, exactly how to deal with it. I'm sure a lot of listeners here today have been through different things in their lives and experienced things. Maybe none quite as challenging as yours, and that still is challenging. But we never know what we're going to come up against. And if you're a veteran, call John and come see him if you've got some things to deal with, and he'll help you out.
Absolutely. Reach out to the Warrior Healing Center. I think
absolutely.
There's so many organizations here. They're top notch.
They are.
And they will.
There's so many different resources. It doesn't have to be a psychological breakdown. You want to get your benefits increased. You got any legal associated issues. You just need to
it's kind of
come by and get some food or just want to chill, have some coffee, hang out.
Sure.
You got a lot of folks who just come and say hi.
You got to find that power from within. And I say this all the time to him. You have no idea how many people that you inspire on a daily basis. And he does. I am so thankful for your friendship, because he makes a difference, and he continues every day to excel no matter what he is faced with. He just keeps going.
Well, Lisa, we appreciate you bringing him to us and turning us on to John and his background, everything, and all the things he's been through. Really appreciate you, John, and coming on and talking about it, kind of giving people something to think about this morning.
Enjoy your Saturday.
Yeah, exactly right. I know it's kind of a heavy topic, but as most of these kind of are oftentimes, but at the same time gives you hope about the human spirit and resilience, and just helps you kind of like, okay, I can do this today. Today I'll climb another hill.
Yep. And it's not even the totality of the hill that people need to be concerned with. It's every small step, the smallest incremental step towards something you are aimed at. Just the small little steps. And hey, you might not get that first step right the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time, but it's persistence that pays off.
Every time he calls me now and he says, last year, I'm going to do the Bisbee 1000.
Yeah.
Right? What?
You did the Bisbee 1000.
I did that with
and I said, okay, ha ha ha, very funny.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He did it. I just sit back. What did I tell you at the beginning of the show? Yeah. If he says he's going to do it, he's going to do it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Gives us all, something to look up to.
Right.
I appreciate it.
If you aren't feeling good right now and pumped up, then you got to start the show over and go through the whole thing again.
Right. Catch us on YouTube. Thanks, John. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for being a good sport about everything. And keep doing what you're doing. We really love the work that you're doing, and love the work that the Warrior Healing Center does. So thank you for that.
Appreciate
thank you for the community. And Lisa, thank you for being on the show, and thank you for bringing John to our attention. All right. Well, this is Keepin' It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios.
That brings us to the end of another Keepin' It Real radio show, and we just want to say a big thank you for letting us be a small part of your weekend. Whether you're a longtime listener or just caught us for the first time today, we're so glad you're here. Got something you'd love us to talk about? Maybe a local story, a cool event, maybe a guest idea. Maybe you're related to or know someone who has an interesting story, profession, or past. We would love to hear from you. So drop it in our Keepin' It Real suggestion box at Long Realty. We're located just behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. Or if it's easier, you can email me directly at sherry@sherryetthelteam.com or call me or text me at 717-599-2439. This is your show, and it's all about our community, our connections, and the what's up of Cochise County, and as always, keeping things real. And your voice will help shape what we do next. We'll see you next Saturday from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 104.1 Cool FM, making radio cool again.
Stay safe and stay cool, Cochise County, and keep it real.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Keepin' It Real radio show. Join us next Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. for more engaging interviews with top realtors and industry leaders, keeping you informed about the latest trends in real estate. Stay connected with us as we bring you updates on the dynamic events shaping our vibrant community. From exciting local happenings to noteworthy charities and causes, we've got you covered. See you next week for another edition of Keepin' It Real.